Nikola Jokic is easily one of the best players in the NBA, and in my humble opinion, I think he is the best center in the league. And when I watch him play, this is a guy that goes out there on a night-to-night basis and can give you around 18 to 20 points, grab double-digit rebounds, and can also facilitate 6 to 7 assists. Combine that with the Denver Nuggets seeing the most amount of success that they've had since the Carmelo Anthony era, and you have a player that is a consensus top 10 player in the NBA. This is a guy that last year also finished top 5 in MVP voting and was first team All-NBA, and he well deserved it, as he put up averages of 20 points a game, grabbed 11 rebounds and facilitated 7 assists, while shooting 51% from the field, below 31% from behind the arc, but he did only take 3 attempts a game, but he also shot 82% from the free throw line. And honestly, I think one of the more overlooked storylines of last year's postseason was just how great Nikola Jokic played in the playoffs. Because in the postseason, he put up averages of 25 points, 13 rebounds, which by the way led all active players, 8 assists while shooting 51% from the field, 39% from 3, and just short of 85% from the free throw line. So when it comes to the numbers, he was able to do that, and if I'm being honest, if Jamal Murray was able to be a consistent option, trust me, we will get to him, I think the Nuggets would have been able to get further in the playoffs and actually reach the Western Conference Finals. But you know, things happen and it is what it is. But it leads me to ask the question, is Nikola Jokic a superstar? And if he's not, what does he have left to do to get to that level in the NBA? But before we go any further, make sure you drop a like down below. Let's shoot for 1,000 likes. Y'all have been killing me with likes and I appreciate it. Also, do not forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell to be notified after each and every single video that I post. The new episode of the Open Book Podcast is out. We are out on also Apple Podcast as well. All of those links are in the description box. But without further ado, let's get on with the Joker, Nikola Jokic. Nikola Jokic coming into the NBA was kind of known as a guy that he could have been great, but he needed more time to develop, and the Nuggets gave him that time as they paired him with Nurkic as well, and that kind of didn't really work out, so they eventually ended up trading Nurkic to the Portland Trail Blazers, and now here we are with Nikola Jokic leading the Denver Nuggets to consistent 50-win seasons, and he is an MVP candidate and is among the top 10 players in the league. But is he an NBA superstar? That is really the question that I want to present to you guys. But before we answer if Jokic is a superstar, we must define what is an NBA superstar, because a lot of people have different definitions on what is a superstar in the NBA. Some people think a superstar is somebody that can put people in the stands, as that is the popularity side of it, and some people think a superstar is one that can be the best player on a championship team. Now, if I'm being honest, I kind of think both of those definitions are flawed to an extent, because the popularity aspect of it, let me present a player, Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook is very popular. His triple doubles are a draw. He can put fans in the seats just based on his game alone. But as far as him being your #1 guy to win a championship, he has shown over the past 3 years that he is unable to do that due to his consistent playoff failures that have resulted in him losing in the first round. But you could also present the other side of the argument with another player, Chauncey Billups. Chauncey Billups was arguably the best player on the 2004 Detroit Pistons, an elite defender and a really solid offensive player as well. And he validated the argument that he is the best player on that team in the NBA Finals when he won the Finals MVP against the Los Angeles Lakers in 2004. But is anybody going to say that Chauncey Billups was a superstar at any point in his NBA career? No, because you would look like a straight up idiot. It's not that Chauncey Billups wasn't a great player. I mean, hell, he was the best player on a championship team. So why is he not a superstar then if he fits that criteria? Like I said, those definitions are relatively flawed. In my opinion, I believe an NBA superstar is somebody that can be the best player on a championship team, but has to have the standing in the NBA of at least an elite level player, because you could win a finals MVP, but a lot of that could just be due to the circumstances of the team that won. Like Chauncey Billups, he was on a very good team that pulled off arguably the greatest upset in NBA history, but you have to consider the context behind his finals MVP, playing with another 20-point per game player in Rip Hamilton, arguably the greatest defensive player of that time period in Ben Wallace. You also have Tayshaun Prince, the coach in Larry Brown. So many factors go into why they won that championship, to the point that you can't just say he's a superstar because he's the best player on a championship team. I hope you guys are getting my drift. But now let's shift the focus back to Nikola Jokic. Is he an NBA superstar? Well, for one, he's putting up elite level numbers, going out there and averaging 20, 10, and 7 while shooting over 50% from the field and shooting relatively decent from 3 while shooting over 80% from the free throw line as well. Those are elite level numbers. And also considering that those numbers translate to the postseason as well, I think you can honestly to God say that. And he's a number 1 on a 50+ win team in Denver, where in reality, let's just be honest here, you could give that roster to a lot of other players that are very talented in the league and they won't even get that far. So as far as Nikola Jokic the player, he is an elite level talent that is a top 10 player and arguably the best player at his own position. And in my opinion, it really isn't that much of a debate because of the health of Joel Embiid, because that's the only real contender for that spot. And as far as the other points go, can he be the best player on a championship team? That really remains to be seen. And I hate to break it to all of the Nikola Jokic fans and Denver Nuggets fans out there, but as long as he remains in Denver, I don't really see Nikola Jokic making an NBA Finals appearance unless somebody grows into being another star on that roster. And hell, Nikola Jokic could win the MVP one day. I have to give it to him. He's going to be in the MVP conversation probably for the next, I would say, 5 to 6 years. But guys, we need to face reality that people are not going to really take you serious as an NBA superstar unless you win the championship or at least are in finals contention year after year. And when you look at the Denver Nuggets, people question just how great of a team they are, one, because they're so young, and two, outside of Jokic, they don't really have anybody that you can point to and say is a bona fide star. Gary Harris looks like he's declining every single year offensively. Paul Millsap is old. And then when you look at Michael Porter Jr., let's just be honest, he has a lot of promise on the offensive side of the ball, but he does have a ways to go to show that he can be healthy. And defensively, I gotta be honest, he doesn't really look that good whatsoever. But I know people are waiting. What about Jamal Murray? Can't he become that guy next to Jokic to lead us to that finals contention? Well, guys, let's start off with this. When you look at the Western Conference, look at all the duos in the West. You got Luka and Kristaps Porzingis, Anthony Davis and LeBron James. You also got Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, Russell Westbrook and James Harden. Now, imagine saying Nikola Jokic and Jamal Murray in the same breath as those guys. It's just not the truth. They are not on that level as a duo. They have a solid team all around, but let's be honest and face the facts that in the playoffs, having superstar and just star talent on a team matters a lot, because when lineups are shortened and a lot of those crunch times you have to rely on your best players, yeah, having to rely on Jamal Murray to be a consistent option, I don't know if Jamal Murray can be that guy. It's no slight, he's a really solid scorer, but he's an inconsistent one, and he showed it last year, especially in Game 6 and 7 of the semifinals against the Portland Trail Blazers. And I don't think people really understand how big of an issue this is, because when he's not scoring consistently, all of his other flaws become even more glaring of an issue for this team. Defensively, he still struggles in that aspect significantly, and even when you look at his playmaking ability, it isn't anything special, and if we're being honest, he doesn't even have the responsibility to play make a majority of the plays, as that responsibility falls on the shoulders of Nikola Jokic. So you would think with even less of a responsibility and his primary job being to score the ball, that he would do that rather efficiently and effectively, but he has failed to do that on a consistent night-to-night basis. And keep in mind that this guy damn near has a max contract. He is making superstar money, but he cannot produce superstar results. But I will say he is young, so maybe one day he could grow into it. But keep in mind, there are other young teams coming up right now in the Western Conference, such as Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. You have Zion, Brandon Ingram, and Lonzo Ball doing their thing in New Orleans. The fact of the matter is, the West is only going to get tougher time after time after time. By the way, I also forgot about Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. Who knows what they're going to do, and then Nurkic is going to come back as well. So at the end of the day, Jamal Murray, now is the time for him to step up, because it's only going to get rougher in a Western Conference that is ever growing with talent. But in conclusion, let me say this. I like Nikola Jokic, but is he a superstar? No, I do not believe he is a superstar, but can he become one? Yes, I definitely do think he can. Now, will it happen in Denver? That really remains to be seen. Hopefully it can, for the sake of the Denver Nuggets fans, because y'all really need to brace yourselves, because with that contract that Jamal Murray just got, yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that. That's all I gotta say. But you guys, make sure you drop a like down below. If you disagreed or agreed with anything that I said, let me know in the comment section. Subscribe, hit the bell, check out the Open Book podcast. All the links for social media are in the description box. Y'all have a great day. Make sure you wash your hands and stay safe. I'm out. Peace.